bigger.
This is what I want you putting at COE.
We have even more metal work to do.
Oh, whoa, stop. Got a doghouse for the dog, a big dog.
This 2001 Ford F350. 6 months ago, this was just a beat-up old work truck. You know, and even after all that, there's still just something missing.
Oh, my God,
Holy
Bill,
cow.
that is sick right there, man.
You know, when big parts start coming together, it makes for a good day.
This is going to be one of my favorites that we've ever done.
Awesome. Did good.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas metal.
Man, Bill, so glad you came with me to pick up this engine.
Well, you know, I'm not going to miss the time to come out and see old John and his cool car collection.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see the car collection everybody's been talking about.
We're months deep in customizing John's F5 Ford COE with tons of custom metal work. He wants us to swing. A super big build is getting even bigger. And, you know, you got to check up on the old milk truck, see how it's doing.
Absolutely.
Hey, Bill, Spot, how y'all doing?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful.
You working?
Yeah, just rubbing on this rascal a little bit. You doing all right?
Heck yeah.
How you doing?
Good, man, how are you?
Doing fine.
Man, this thing's still looking good.
Putting some miles on it, so having a good time.
Running good?
It's still running great. I tell you, I enjoy the heck out of it.
We built the milk truck from ground up for Big John last year. Tons of custom metal work, full interior, and a big old diesel engine. You know, seeing the milk truck again, that just reaffirms that we really got to keep the bar high on this one.
Yeah, keep pushing the bar to build an even better vehicle than we built before.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely still my favorite build that's ever come out of the shop. But amongst all these other cars, what a collection.
You hadn't seen them all. There's still other garages.
No kidding.
You know, I've known John for a long time. Since I was a kid, we're a lot alike. Because no matter when the idea hits, he's always looking to make his builds bigger and better. Always. We planned on keeping the existing engine on the COE, but in this game, the only thing you can count on is things are definitely going to change.
Well, you know how I like them.
Yeah.
Let's do something different. Let's put a Cummins in the next one.
Man, I like that. I love, you know, that's part of it, just that diesel sound and the smell. Yeah. Man, that'll make it.
I think so. Putting the diesel in the COE, it's the only way to go. They're bigger trucks. They need a diesel. This is what I want you putting at COE, is a Cummins 4BT 12-valve, 3.9 liter with a 4-speed automatic tranny on it.
John, I think it's a great idea. You know, having the diesel in the COE is definitely the right way to go. Even being a 4-cylinder, this thing can still make some good power.
It'll make that COE run good.
The Cummins 4BT is a turbocharged 3.9 liter. It's a small version of the super popular 12-valve. You know, it still packs a ton of power, but size-wise, it's a way better fit for the COE.
This is probably going to be your new favorite.
Nah, this is my favorite.
I don't know.
Well, then
it's going to be a tough decision.
I'll have two favorites.
You ready to load this up?
Let's load this rascal up.
Let me get the truck.
You go back it in, I'll get the forklift.
You know, we spent months on all the metal work on the COE, and it's even going to take more work to make this diesel engine fit.
Clear over there?
This way? Cool. The truth is, if it were my truck, I definitely want the same thing. What up, Timmy? What you got on that truck out there? Little engine, little diesel engine. Old John, milk truck John? Yeah. He loves how that diesel is in his milk truck. He said he just had to have a diesel in the COE.
So all the work with the old 350 that's in it, taking all that out, all the sheet metal, everything, and
whatever we got to do to make it fit. You know, we've already made a custom Western hauler style bed, running boards, and a whole headache rack. It's all at powder coat. Now we have even more metal work to do.
What do you want to get started on first?
You know, first things first, we got to pull out that small block, get rid of that sucker, and let's start doing what we got to do to get that diesel in. You know, the Cummins 4BT has some components on the side that makes this thing a little wider than the 350. So you already know that creates a lot of work and making a whole new doghouse. And we're going to be adding new new front bag mounts to the front suspension to haul that extra weight. Then we can add the wood into the bed and the running boards. And a full handmade interior, of course.
We still painting this thing orange or what?
Big John's definitely got to have it orange.
And the orange, the big billet wheels, and now the diesel motor kind of completes the whole project of the truck.
Definitely. The milk truck's going to have a little competition beside it when it gets back home. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Pull that hood off. All right.
To make room for the new Cummins engine, Ryan and John are going to start by taking out the old small block 350.
That's one way to do it.
So is.
It looks like there's no way to get that out. This cross mover right here is gonna really hang us up on getting the bottom of this thing out.
I seen that coming.
Sucks.
I had a feeling this was gonna happen, but it was worth a shot. You know, we were hoping we'll just remove the front end and we're about to get the engine out the front of the truck. But clearly that's not gonna happen because we got a front cross member here and we don't want to cut that out. So, more work.
To pull the engine out, we gotta make room. So we're gonna take the radiator off, and then the motor mounts, exhaust, and headers off of this thing. This thing is so wedged in here, dude. You ready? Yeah. I'm hung up on something.
This wire right here, hold on. I got it, hold on. Temperature sensor wire. All right.
Nice. That'll make life a little easier, huh?
A little bit.
Hey, stop. Up.
I need the chain to be as short as possible, though.
I understand that. When you're building custom cars and trucks, it seems like they never end. We're always constantly changing and evolving and coming up with bigger, badder stuff. And this is no different.
Right there?
I'm down here. All right. Pull the motor your way here.
See what we got.
All right. Go ahead.
Practically a brand new engine, huh?
Yeah. He could probably throw it in one of his other projects and we can put something way cooler in this one, huh?
Yeah, diesel power.
Yeah, buddy.
Well, you know, John always gets what he wants, so
Hey.
I wish I was that, John.
We're going to add wood inlays into the flatbed and the running boards. So I asked Lewis to help me pick the right wood to accent that orange paint.
What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
This is the color we got. Lamborghini orange for that COE. You know, the wood's going to be pretty prominent on the bed of this thing and down in the running boards, so it's really going to stand out. But I want something, you know, with a nice grain to it. What is this?
So that one's alder right there. That's a really white wood, so we could add a stain to that. This one's oak. We have walnut here. This is cherry.
Man, I like that.
We can add a little bit of solvent to it. You know, you can kind of see the natural appearance and the figure of that grain. And on our mahogany, and then our walnut.
Man, I think these two.
Yeah, man.
You know, I love the grain in this thing.
Yep.
I think majority laced wood with little separation of mahogany.
Yeah, man.
That would be nice.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, and this lace wood, when it's in the sun, it's just going to pop at you. All of the grain running like that, that sun's going to hit it. It's going to be beautiful.
Cool.
All right, man.
Let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we got the engine compartment cleared out. Now it's time to fit the Cummins. Typical. As everything else around here, we run into a little issue with this new motor being a little bit wider and obviously a lot bigger than that little 350 that was in here. So what I'm gonna do is keep as much of the firewall as I can because height isn't an issue, it's just width. So I'll just cut all the way back and hopefully I'll be able to save this chunk and just move it over an inch. Also gonna trim the frame rails to make a little bit of room and then plate it, boxing it in. That way when I do get this motor in here, I can go ahead and build my motor mounts as well without having to pull it back out again. Everything's done, frame's boxed in, motor mount plates are made and ready for the motor to... Try to tilt back. Oh, whoa, stop.
Ah, that sucks. So you're hitting the top and it's already at the bottom.
You know know, when you own a custom shop as long as I have, you get a lot of experience fitting things in vehicles where they're not supposed to be, like the Cummins and the 1950 Ford COE.
On this side, the injector pump is hitting the body.
For our second attempt on the COE, we raised the body off the frame about a foot to get that engine in there.
It's about right. Thank you, guys. Now we can get this dropped back down. We can start getting this motor mounted to the frame. Whenever you need help, holla at me.
Oh, we will. Come on.
Now that we got the new engine in, you could clearly see it's a lot taller than what was in there. This was the original doghouse that was in there for the 350. So what we're gonna have to do is start from scratch, build a whole new doghouse, make it taller and wider as well. So I got a rough measurement from inside the truck, 36 by 24. Let's toss it in the truck. And what we're gonna do here is get us some reference lines where I gotta bend this. This mark is the edge of the exhaust. These two marks are the valve cover, and this one is the edge of the fuel filter. Now we'll take this over to the machine and get braking. Got a doghouse for the dog, the big dog. Looks like this is gonna fit pretty good. Make a little adjustment cuts here and there. The challenge to building this is to make this as close as possible to the engine to give us as much cabin room as possible. But the engine does produce heat, so we can't get too close because then this will get hot. As you can see, this is a lot smaller than what we're working with, so we're just gonna go ahead and cut that off and just make it all new. The back piece tacked on there, giving it a little structural integrity, while I make a bunch of these little pieces. It's gonna form the panel from the top and connect it to the back side. There's gonna be a lot of trimming, fitting, and adding till we get this thing all finished.
Ground up builds, especially with the owner like Big John, he really challenges us to build something truly that's one of one. You know, that's my passion, but it's also my business. So I'm always riding that line, what's best for the shop and what's best for the build. You know, the truth be told, my passion almost always wins. Exhibit 1011, this 2001 Ford F350.
You know, we've done a lot of work to this point in getting this old green work truck to the point it's at.
You know, you can't really tell now, but about 6 months ago, this was just a beat-up old work truck. We raised the truck 4 inches, added 24-inch wheels, we added full paint, fabricated the bed to flow with our custom fenders and custom short tailgate. You know, and even after all that, there's still just something missing.
Man, I know that look. What are you thinking?
Man, it's not done. It needs a little more.
Like what?
It just needs something to throw it over the top. And I think graphics on this thing would really, really, really just wake it up.
So you think it's something subtle, something small, or something just crazy?
See, you know I'm right. You know I'm right, Tim.
You're always right. That's why you're a successful businessman in America.
It's just too green. It needs some graphics down this. Come over and get it laid down on here. Then this thing will be finished.
I'll hit him up, see if he's in town, so you can stop by.
You know, we're lucky here with Houston's custom car scene. We have an abundance of specialists and artists who can really just take something just totally over the top. Like this husband and wife team, Caesar and Amanda.
So the main purpose of prepping it is that way we can open up the pores of the paint so we can actually have the adhesion and the chemical bond to get the next layer of graphics on top of the base color.
Having my wife work with me is a lot easier because the same goal in mind always helps.
Plus, good work is hard to find, so that's why I learned so I can work with him every day.
I'm gonna start with my fine line. I basically had to draw something to get proportion right, and then from there I'll start tweaking it and getting the balance just right. It looks good on paper, but putting it on something that's three-dimensional is really hard because if one line has a real clean arc and there's a kink in it, that disrupts the whole flow of the design process. It's kind of like a puzzle. You know, I'm trying to piece everything together, and I'm working little by little, and then from there, I'll step back and look at the bigger picture
truck, we're gonna pounce it to the other side. You're gonna have to tape over there and come this way.
All right.
We're gonna go ahead and start tracing them and making our marks with a crayon. We're gonna make sure that we get the graphics and then also like the door jambs, the body lines, stuff like that, so that way we can make sure that we have accurate placement whenever we flip it to the other side and transfer the image. So Bill is looking for more of like an olive avocado green. So we are going to be trying to mix something that's kind of close to that. I can kind of manipulate the tones to get it where we want it.
I like where the green's at, but it needs a little bit more of a bump. So we got some interstellar pearls. We're gonna add to it.
Caesar, we're good.
That's what I want. And the sun is gonna make the pearl pop out and give it that dancing shimmer effect. All right, so what we're gonna do is, we got it all masked up, so I'm gonna start laying my base coat down. With pearls, there is a technique to spraying. You wanna get nice, even coats, no blotchiness. So you wanna be a little higher with the pressure and a little more sporadic. That way you can get your pigments to lay on real well. I just finished doing my second coat. What I'm gonna do is wait for this to flash. I'll come back after it's cured and spray some more coats.
What I like about Caesar and Amanda's work, they use multiple techniques with multiple layers all throughout the graphics. The details they're gonna add to this F350 are just gonna look like they're popping out all that green.
I'm just trying to get nice, even brush strokes in. That way the balance is there, kind of coming from both angles. It kind of makes it look like the colors are cutting into each other. I'll start with the base. I'll come along the edges, get a nice smooth blend. And basically each step builds on top of it. I'll clean the gun, I'll load it up with the candy. You'll slowly start seeing the transitions of the pearls and the candies kind of mixed together. And with custom painting, you never know what's gonna happen. You never know how your layout's gonna turn out, and you kind of base it off a feeling, and you just wanna have the right look. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of sacrifice. Sometimes you gotta break a few eggs before you get it right.
Hey, is that lift arm gonna hit that body mount over there?
Nope, I'm good.
We're separating the frame on the 1950 Ford F5.
Turn it wheel.
We're gonna tidy up the suspension with new upper and lower control arms, bag. You know, right now is one of the most critical stages when you're setting up air suspension. We got the chassis simulated with the truck all the way deflated, like all the way on the ground. So we're gonna simulate the bag fully compressed with our 3-inch spacer. So we're gonna put our bag mount right on top of our 3-inch spacer. That's where it needs to go. Okay, real quick, Ryan, measure.
5 and 1/16. 5 and a 16. Oh, baby.
We're ready to blow this thing apart.
So, you know, these last couple hours and this little moment right here is always exhausting and exciting all at the same time. Once we get this thing done and powder coated and you start seeing it all come together, man, just this in itself is gonna be a showstopper, you know, and then adding the cab and the bed and wheels and all that, man, this is gonna be one of my favorites that we've ever done, for sure.
John wants to paint this entire truck orange. You know, I was looking for something bright, bold, but still classy.
In the booth we go. Coming out Tangelo. Oh, come on. Our customer, John, is all about the bling and the wow factor. This is a big truck. It's gonna be a lot of orange. I think he's gonna like it. Because there is so much pearl in it, it doesn't cover as well as some other paints. So you gotta make sure when you're spraying, you got a nice even spray pattern. You don't want it to come out blotchy and cloudy when it's in the sunlight. On this color, it's gonna take 4, maybe 5 coats to get complete coverage, and that's what we're going for.
You know, I like to powder coat our suspensions and frames. You know, it not only lasts longer, more durable, but it makes it look a whole lot better. You know, with the chassis back from powder coat, ask Little One to assemble the rolling chassis. Then we'll install the engine and marry it to the flatbed and the cab. Yeah, that's right, his name's Little One. Don't ask me why, but he's a good mechanic and fabricator.
We get the motor in here, get the wiring done, and we go ahead and get all the brake lines. That way we don't have to struggle when the cab is on there and everything's fit perfectly.
And it's the first time I see the powder coat compared to the cab. It goes really good. Come on, Jesse. Go forward. Line display right here.
I can see
All right, go down. Slowly. All right, let's get the other side. Go.
Down?
Yeah.
Right there.
All right, Jesse.
It's always cool to take the extra effort just to do the rolling chassis. You know, John wanted to keep basically the stock chassis, but he wanted to modify it to fit the truck. So it's always a good feeling when the customer wants to go ahead and get it powder coated, broken apart, and you look up underneath there, and everything's finished 100%.
Bring it down.
Been a long time coming. We're getting the cab down on the chassis. Finally, you know, we started working on this. It was kind of cold outside, got hot, real hot. We worked all the way through summer, starting to get cold again. You know, you can tell this is a long project. Measure the distance in between there. Center hole, center hole.
Like 23 3/4.
I'm an instant gratification guy, so I'm feeling pretty gratified right now. You know, when big parts start coming together, it makes for a good day. Looking good?
Down a little bit.
That's about right where it's gonna be.
Hell yeah. Man, that's what I like to see. You know, it feels good to look around the shop and see all these big, and bigger builds getting worked on. But honestly, nothing feels better to work. This lifted F350 is right on the edge.
The process of pinstriping is very technical. Makes these graphics seem like they're wider when you're looking at them, but not something that's gonna overkill them. It's easy to mess up, and it's even harder to fix once you do. Sometimes when I'm striping, I'll hold my breath, and as I'm pulling my line, I'll exhale. Even my own heartbeat will shake my hands sometimes. It's just you and the brush, and you just focus on the moment that you're striping, because it takes a lot of control and discipline to get your brush to work. You have to control it. I'm nowhere as good as I want to be, and every time I pick up the brush, in the first 10 or 15 minutes, I'm gonna know if I'm gonna stripe that day. Because some days I have it, some days I don't.
You know, let me find some wood to knock on, because this truck is done. When the owners, Andrew and Candy, dropped this truck off a few months ago, you wouldn't believe it. It was just a busted-up old work truck. But after all we've done, it's gonna be worth the wait, and these graphics are just a cherry on the top. What's happening? Good morning.
What you say, Bill? How you doing, man?
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Today's the day.
Yeah, it is, right? You've been waiting a while.
Oh, yeah.
You guys came in that old tired...
That one off. No one had.
Right?
I bought it from my parents in 2007, so it's been in the family its whole life. So I wasn't having a new truck. They all look the same.
What better way than just take the money we have saved and build something unique?
You know, we spent a lot of time on the aesthetics on this thing. You know, just when we thought we were done with this thing, it wasn't done. It needed something just a little more to put it way over the top.
Cool deal. Let's see it. I'm real nervous right now because, you know, I talked her into doing it, and now, you know, if it doesn't turn out right, she's gonna kick my butt.
You guys ready to check this thing out?
I'm super excited.
Let's get Matt to
We're
bring
ready.
this thing around.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, my God,
Holy
Bill,
cow.
that is sick right there, man. That is awesome.
Oh, I think I'm gonna
man.
cry. That's crazy. I'm
Yeah,
shaking.
you did it right there.
Looks good, huh?
Oh, yeah, not even the
Not
same
even
truck.
close to what we expected, right?
Nope, not even close. This is nice, Bill.
I mean-
This is
So you're
great.
liking it?
Oh, yeah, we're loving it. Loving it.
Look at that really cool bumper.
It makes you want to get out of its way, right?
Oh, yeah, those
Yeah.
round
What do you-
lights. I'm glad you You went with that instead of a light bar.
Yeah, man, there's been way overplayed, right?
No, that is perfect. That is nice.
You know, the 24-inch dually wheels on this thing that just really
They
wakes
set
it
it
up.
real 10 lugs, too.
Right?
That's nice.
You know, one of the most unique things on the truck is the bed itself. So what we did is just cut the original bed down and shaped it around the later model dually fenders, which gives it just a totally different look.
Perfect, and plus I still get the bed use. It's got the sides, it's got the little tailgate on there, so stuff's not flying out. I don't have to strap everything down.
Right?
Little baby gate.
I think it's pretty cute.
Yeah.
Little baby gate.
Mini gate.
The finishing touch on this was just the graphics, just to tie everything together, just put it next level.
It takes that truck from awesome to radical, 100%.
That's right.
I think those graphics stand out. It's like they're not even touching the paint. It's like they're just setting off the truck completely. The different layers on that, the colors in there, that's perfect. But it doesn't take away from the actual truck itself, so.
It adds to it,
Yeah,
for sure.
it really does.
Absolutely. It just gives it that whole aggressive attitude and makes it just
Stand out. It's kind of cool, you know? It's like there's a little snakeskin looking thing, and then there's like a little leopard looking thing. I don't know. It's like an exotic animal of some sort.
It's like the green beast, man. It's unique.
There you go, man. I think you just named your truck.
Might have. See what she says about that.
Now I need some graphics on the back windows that say Green Beast.
One problem.
What's that?
I'm gonna be bringing more of our vehicles here.
Oh, gosh.
You went above and beyond what we wanted. This is perfect.
Appreciate that. I'm glad it's still in your family. I'm sure you're gonna keep it for a long time.
We will.
Oh, yeah. It'll go to the grave with us.
Watch the back of the cab.
You know, it's always good to see one leave, but two is always better. And the 1950 Ford COE is getting real close to being finished. John's out there putting a lot of strips of wood together to fill that bed and the running boards.
So I've got all the raw lumber planed down to the proper thickness. So what we can do now is I'm gonna take the jig that they built the bed off of, mark it out so I know what parts of it I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these boards down to length so I have smaller pieces to deal with, and it'll be a lot easier to manage when it's time to glue and clamp these up. Next thing we wanna do is do a layout for our biscuit joinery. This is what's called a biscuit. We create a pocket in both halves of the wood, and when you bring it together, it keeps everything lined up. It makes a stronger joint, so these things will be solid. I'm gonna take this tool. This is a plate joiner, and what this is gonna do is this is actually gonna cut the mortises into the pieces for the biscuits to fit into. The biscuit fits in like that, and it will. Okay, now it's perfectly even across here. A little bit of sanding, and these things will be dead on, ready to go. Usually we're working with fiberglass, Bondo, MDF, things like that. It's really kind of a treat to have a chance to work with some real wood and, you know, play with the tree.
Like everything we do here, it's about going the extra mile. So when Big John wanted a Cummins diesel in his COE, you know, I gave a call to some Cummins specialists who come from a tiny little town, hour and a half north of here, called Nacogdoches.
What's up?
Hey, what's happening, man?
What's up, Bill?
How you doing, brother?
Man, real good. Appreciate you guys coming down.
Absolutely.
No problem, man. What'd you think about this, man?
This is awesome.
This thing's beauty, man.
I doubt there's very many 52 Fords running around with a 4BT in it.
Right.
Dude, I can't wait to hear this thing run, man, and get a hold of that pump, turn it up, make it roll some coal.
Do what you do, man. Let's get this thing running.
Let's get her done.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Stock, this engine's about 120 horsepower, and we're gonna have John's pushing about 300 horsepower to the tire. A lot of upgrades in it, injectors, pump work, turbo.
It should give us about 600 foot-pounds of torque, which is plenty for moving this big old truck.
That's a bad little engine.
Yes, it is.
All right, now that we got the front cover off, I think we're ready to go ahead and clean everything up, make sure there's no debris or anything inside of it that could potentially cause a malfunction or failure, and then put our new billet front cover on. So the advantage of this front cover versus the old style one is that they actually were prone to leaking a lot. They were a really thin piece of metal, and these engines heat up and cool down so much that they actually start to warp and breaks the seal on the gasket. So the advantage of this, it's a lot thicker, a lot stronger. It helps create a better seal over time, and we won't have oil going everywhere either.
These four-cylinder Cummins, these 4BTs, they run great fuel mileage, and they can move a big vehicle for the size of them, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of companies use them that do a lot of deliveries.
Yeah.
And they're running 24/7.
24/7.
Putting 400, 500,000 miles on
Yep.
these things, and they just keep
They just keep on running. Okay, so we're taking these single valve covers off, and we're going to put one solid piece of billet aluminum on here. They tend not to leak as much. Instead of a gasket that kind of overlaps these, we got O-rings on each one that's cut into the billet piece. So it doesn't allow for oil to seep through, and it really just looks a lot better than what we have here.
So what we're putting on here is a harmonic balancer. Typically 4BTs didn't come with them because they were in industrial use. They didn't really care about vibration in the engine or anything like that. This helps dampening all the vibrations coming from the crank and just really smooths out the engine idle and gives you a nice ride.
Bill and his guys did an amazing job getting this to fit, and we can fire this thing up. You ready to start it?
Yeah, I got the launch crack ready to bleed it out.
Let's do it.
Hit it.
Man, that thing sounds awesome, dude.
Good job.
This thing sounded awesome, man. This thing's gonna give John plenty of room in here. It's just gonna fit the bill, man. It's just gonna run great. I mean, it just sounds awesome, man.
Woo! Sounds great.
John's been putting in hours and hours of making the wood to put in the running boards and the flatbed. You know, it takes a lot of experience to work with the hardwood, but in the end, it'll all speak for itself.
As you can see, I got it all roughed out and cut to shape. So the next thing I'm gonna do is take my template. I'm just gonna clamp the template to this and take my hand router and a flush trim bit and work my way around it, slowly ease my way around the corners. With this being a hardwood, I'm gonna have to be careful. Take a little bit more time than cutting MDF, but way worth it. Well, we got this one piece ready to go. So next step is get it over to the paint shop and we'll get a finish put on it. Man, that sure does look good.
Awesome.
Man, I can't wait to see them in the truck. It's gonna be
beautiful, man.
beautiful.
We're gonna get the wood ready to stain. The stain's gonna look great with this type of wood. It's gonna give it the clarity that we want, and it's gonna be beautiful. I want it to be fairly natural, so I don't want a really heavy pigmented stain. So this is gonna be very transparent. It's gonna highlight the wood, so we'll put it on there. I wanna go in a circular motion to make sure that I get all of this stain mixture here applied evenly. So I'll come back and I'll wipe it this way, all in the direction of the grain, even it out. So I've got the clear in the gun, and we're gonna get to spraying. We're going for a full fill finish, just like a piano would have. So in order to seal the pores of the wood, we need to keep coating it, keep sanding that look that Bill wants.
You know, on builds like this, I like to have the design flow from the inside out. So the wood on the bed is gonna flow all the way into the interior.
Now I got all the measurements and everything. We've got the shifter in and the doghouse, so we know everything's gonna fit like we should. So now I just gotta transfer all these measurements to a piece of chipboard, and then we'll start building this console. All right, now we got all the pieces cut out. We're gonna put the base of the console together. Once we get it all together, we're gonna go ahead and start on the top section of it. It's gonna look pretty nice. I'm loving it so far. I think it's gonna be just like what was envisioned. You know, we're gonna have the two googly eyes here, some more googly eyes here, shifter right there, compartment with plenty of storage. You can hold a small child in here, plenty of room. You'll see when these sides go on, it's actually gonna leave us a 1/4 inch gap in the center for our aluminum. That's gonna run like a belt line all the way across here, and then we're gonna have our lacewood veneer on the top. So where this lid opens up, I don't wanna see screws. We have our center screws. We're gonna screw the aluminum and pull this together. So it's gonna give a real clean look without seeing one screw whatsoever. People are gonna wonder how it's held together. Like most things I build, the console is a puzzle. You know, I build everything from inside out. It's the little details that count. A lot of extra work,
but it's worth it in the end. I like it.
Now that all the pieces of the COE puzzle are built, we got to complete the picture. That's installing the doors, adding the stereo, final electrical, and of course installing the beautiful hardwood and the running boards in the bed.
There has been a ton of work. I know I say that a lot, but there has been literally 2,000 pounds of work in this thing.
You know, the great thing about customization is you have this one idea, your one base idea to start off of. And once you start, you know, getting into it, you know, you're transforming your vehicle into something, your vision. There's always other ideas along the way that even make your vision greater. There's always something to put your personal touch.
I keep going down the truck.
Snowballs.
Yeah. Everybody pushes the boundaries every year.
Well, that's one good thing about customization. It never does stop.
The wheels get bigger, tires get bigger, brakes get bigger, suspensions get taller, try to get lower. Same with stereo, same with changing paint. It's just on and on and on.
That's what's great about the industry that we're in. There's always something higher to reach for, you know, something to improve on. You know, the Ford COE has just been a huge build. You know, everybody at the shop has been pushing one another to create Big John something he can be proud of for years to come.
I've waited a long time for this. Bill's had it quite a while. I'm excited to get this COE back. How you doing?
Hey, man, good. Good to see you.
You got out here.
Man, I always like coming out here and hanging out with you.
Well, I always loved having you. I invited my grandkids out here so they could see this because they all love the milk truck, but the bar was high on that.
That's right. I know, you know, you won't accept nothing less than that for sure.
I hope you exceeded that bar on this one.
Absolutely. Been a long time coming. I know you're ready. You guys ready?
You're ready.
Let's check this thing out. Come on, John.
Look at that rascal.
What you think?
I like it. Look at the bling. You hit the paint perfect compared to what it was.
The sun hitting this Lamborghini orange, this thing looks amazing.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
You had a hand in this one, doing this one?
Yes, sir.
Like you did the milk truck? Mm-hmm. Fantastic. You did an awesome job.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me everything about it. What all y'all do?
I ain't got to tell you what we started with on this one, right?
We had a nasty truck.
You know, nothing lined up on this. There was rust everywhere. Months and months of metal work, just making everything
fit right.
We dropped the frame out of this thing, redid the suspension, powder coated everything. You know, we threw the other bed away. We started out just by making a Western Hauler style bed.
Yep.
It just really fits this style of the truck.
It looks great.
You know,
what type of wood is this?
That's a lace wood with mahogany inserts, and also brought it down into the running boards just to bring some color in that, contrast, and just be something that nobody's ever seen before.
I mean, the lines are beautiful. The wood cut is perfect. You come up with the extraordinary every time. I appreciate it.
Of course, he threw us a curveball on this thing.
When it changed with the diesel motor.
Yeah, we had this thing almost all buttoned up as far as engine-wise, and then with this nice curveball.
Oh, well, I knew y'all could handle it.
Let's check this out.
Let's go. That looks fantastic. It did great.
How the little 4BT looks right at home in this thing, right?
It fit in there really good.
Well, I'm glad you made that call because this thing needed a diesel.
When y'all picked it up, it didn't look like that.
No, you definitely wouldn't want to pop the hood the way it was before, right? You see the intercooler tubes go up in there. Just, man, it makes this thing really stand out. Had the one-way diesel guys come down. They turned this thing up. It's got over 300 plus horsepower, probably 1,000,000 foot-pounds of torque.
Should be Screamer now, huh?
Right? You ready to check out the interior?
You bet we are. Wow. Now, you did fantastic. That looks good.
Man, John, I know, you know, you not only wanted the bling, but you got to have the comfort too, right?
Oh, yeah, we got to be able to cruise in it and enjoy it.
I mean, we started by ripping everything out of this thing and just starting fresh. Welded up all the holes in the dash and just woke this thing up, you know, brought that orange color inside.
I like the wood here, but you brought it in here.
Right.
That is beautiful. All
just
the
had
doors
to tie it all together.
And the console, too.
Not only that, this thing sounds good, too. You got all new stereo in this thing. It's all Bluetooth. You know, new gauges, new AC, new everything.
The upgrades are unbelievable.
There's not anything in this thing from 1950.
That's true. That is true. This exceeded what I wanted. the orange, all the bling. It's fantastic. I'm looking really forward to taking this truck out.
Barbara said hi with the milk truck. How we do?
The milk truck's great, and this is better. If we ever do another one, you really gonna have some tough times. Thank you very much, Don. Thank you very much.
Let's get this thing in.
Let's get it inside.
You know, this job was a long one for us. You know, every guy in the shop has hours and hours and weeks, in some cases months. And this is a long, labor-intensive build, which I'm very proud of how this thing turned out. Seeing this COE next to the milk truck, it just reminds me of how good my whole team is. I'm proud of each and every one of my guys. I couldn't do this alone, and I appreciate everything they do for me and all my customers.